Once upon a time, in a small city surrounded by hills, lived a 26-year-old young man named Daniel. Daniel had a problem that millions of people around the world face every day, but few admit. He couldn't be alone with himself. Whenever he was in silence, when he had nothing to do, his mind would start racing with uncomfortable thoughts. Memories from the past that bothered him, worries about the future that made him anxious. So Daniel did what most of us do. He ran away. He would grab his phone and spend hours on social media. Turn on the television just to have background noise. Leave home without a destination, just to not be alone with his own thoughts. Daniel was running from himself, but he didn't know it. He thought he was just keeping busy, but he was actually avoiding the most important meeting of his life, the meeting with his own mind. Over time, this constant escape began to take its toll. Daniel felt increasingly tired, even without doing anything productive. His concentration decreased every day. At work, he couldn't focus on a task for more than a few minutes. At home, he watched entire movies without paying real attention to what was happening on screen. He was physically present, but mentally absent from his own life. One morning, while drinking coffee and automatically scrolling through Instagram for the 100th time, Daniel stopped. Something inside him whispered, "What are you doing?" At that moment, he realized he couldn't remember the last time he had spent 5 minutes alone, in silence, just thinking or feeling. There was always some distraction, always something to fill the void. That's when Daniel decided to seek help. He heard about a mindfulness therapist who lived in the mountains, 2 hours from his city. People said she had a unique approach to teaching people how to face themselves. Her name was Dr. Elena, and she had dedicated her life to helping people who, like Daniel, were running from their own minds. After a long journey through the winding mountain roads, Daniel arrived at Dr. Elena's office. It was a simple house, surrounded by well-tended gardens. When he knocked on the door, a woman of approximately 50 years old greeted him with a warm smile. Her eyes showed a peace that Daniel hadn't seen in anyone for a long time. "You must be Daniel," she said. "Come, sit here with me." She led him to a porch that overlooked the valley. "Now tell me, what are you running from?" Daniel was surprised by the direct question. I'm not running from anything. I just came here because I have concentration and anxiety problems." Dr. Elena smiled gently. "Daniel, have you ever tried to stay 5 minutes alone without your phone, without television, without music, without anything? Just you and your mind?" "Why would I do that?" Daniel responded quickly. "That would be boring." "Boring or scary?" she asked, looking directly into his eyes. That question hit Daniel like lightning. He had never thought about it that way. Maybe it wasn't boredom, maybe it was fear. Fear of what he might find if he really looked inside himself. "I'll propose a simple exercise," said Dr. Elena. "I want you to sit in this chair and stay silent for just 10 minutes. No distractions. Just observe what happens in your mind." "That's it?" Daniel asked, thinking it would be easy. "That's it," she confirmed. "But there's one rule. You cannot run away. No matter what thought appears, what emotion arises, what memory comes up, you must stay and observe, as if you were a scientist studying your own mind." Daniel accepted the challenge and sat in the chair. Dr. Elena set a timer for 10 minutes and said, "Start now." The first 2 minutes were relatively calm. Daniel looked at the landscape and felt good. But then, gradually, his mind began to get restless. Memories of past mistakes began to surface. Worries about work projects appeared. Anxiety about relationships came up. Every few seconds, Daniel felt the urge to grab his phone, to get up, to do anything to stop that discomfort. But he remembered the doctor's words, "Don't run away." So for the first time in years, Daniel stayed. He observed his thoughts as if they were clouds passing through the sky. Some were dark and heavy, others were light and quick, but they all passed. None stayed forever. When the timer rang, something extraordinary had happened. Daniel was no longer fighting against his thoughts. He had realized something profound. Thoughts were just visitors in his mind. They came and went. He didn't need to run from them nor fight against them. He just needed to observe them with curiosity, like a scientist observes an interesting phenomenon. "How do you feel?" asked Dr. Elena. Different, Daniel responded, genuinely surprised. I still have uncomfortable thoughts, but they don't scare me anymore. It's as if I had discovered that I can be with them without being consumed by them. The doctor smiled. That's the secret you were looking for. When we stop running from ourselves, we discover there's nothing to fear. Our mind is like an ocean, sometimes stormy, sometimes calm, but always in motion. When we learn to navigate this ocean instead of running from it, we find a freedom we never imagined was possible. Daniel returned home that day as a transformed person. Not because all his problems had disappeared, but because he had discovered something more valuable, the courage to face himself. He still felt anxiety sometimes, still had negative thoughts, but now he knew he could stay with these feelings without running away. In the following days, Daniel began practicing small moments of silence, 5 minutes in the morning, 10 minutes at night. Gradually, he discovered that his ability to concentrate improved. His relationships became deeper because he was truly present with people. His work improved because he could focus without the constant need for distractions. Most importantly, Daniel discovered something he had lost long ago: inner peace. Not the absence of difficult thoughts, but the ability to be with himself, regardless of what his mind was doing. Daniel's story teaches us a powerful lesson. The most important journey we can take is not to a distant place, but inside ourselves. When we stop running from our own thoughts and emotions, we discover a strength and peace that were always there, waiting to be discovered. If this story touched your heart, leave a like so we can reach more people who need to hear this message. Share it with someone you know is running from themselves. Sometimes, a simple story can change an entire life. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more inspiring stories like this one. And in the comments, tell us, when was the last time you spent a few minutes alone with yourself without distractions? Your answer might inspire other people to start their own inner journey. Until the next story, remember, the most important person you need to make peace with is yourself. Stay well and stay peaceful.